All right, welcome to the Corey Jones Show. I am, of course, your host, Corey Jones, also owner and lead instructor of Safetyman Consulting, safetyman.co, where we do everything to increase your safety, your security, and your survival, whether it be active shooter training, crisis management, verbal de-escalation, anything you can think of. My job is to make sure that you, your team, your family, your parishioners, your coworkers, everybody is safe. I'm here with Mario Bekes. He is the managing director of Insight Intelligence Group. And he and I, you can kind of see we have a similar path where he's going to talk about some of the investigations and some of the types of things that he does in order to make sure that everybody is safe and has the information they need to make effective decisions going forward. Mario, welcome to the show. And just tell me a little bit about yourself, sir.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you for having me. And I would like to say,
yeah, I think we had a little technical difficulty with that Zoom froze, but he's back now. So go ahead, Mario. He froze a little bit. So you're about to talk about a little bit of your history and your bio and how you got hooked up with this company.
Yes. Thank you, Corey. Growing up with the parents who are quite different than anybody else, to be sadistic, alcoholic, typical communist product. Age 14, I went to the military school, and then 1991, the civil war, similar like in Ukraine, happened to me. I was 18 years old, and I went to the war. I stayed in military for 8 consecutive years. I had almost 1,800 consecutive combat days. And I fought for the democracy and freedom, dreaming about one day how I'm going to be a successful businessman. In military, I just gained a lot of experiences in military security intelligence services, which finally, 1998, I was transferred into Directorate 7, which was counterintelligence security services of Foreign Affairs Republic of Croatia, and they shipped me in Australia. So I spent 4.5 years in Croatian embassy in Canberra as a head of security intelligence services for my government. Upon finishing that job, I decided to stay in Australia to start my own life. And I met a lovely lady, started a family, and, slowly grinding Corey through the life. I started as a bouncer and, cleaner in a night shift, and eventually I come to the position when I was in corporate world. However, 2009, as everybody remember, it happened, GFC, and for me that was a breaking point with my family life and loss of everything. So I decided to start my own business, Insight Intelligence Group, and it was modest and humble beginnings. And I started as a private investigator, and I built this company from ground to now almost 200 people consist and working for this company's intelligence group.
That's incredible. So you mentioned Croatia. So do you actually spend time in that country?
Yes, I did. So I was born 1972 there, and I left Croatia in November 98 when I was sent by my government in Croatian embassy in Canberra. So yeah, I fought for the independence, democracy. For me, democracy, and it was a different formula than today. For me, it was being free, having Coke, McDonald's, and Nike sneakers. So yeah, I was in Croatia almost 28 years in total.
Well, I want to personally thank you for what you did to help Croatia in that fight for independence, because my wife is from Slovakia, and as you know, Slovakia is landlocked, and that was a country where they would want to go to the beach on vacation. They would go to the beach in Croatia every year to have that, and I'm sure you were part of the fighting force that made that possible for them to do that safely. Obviously, it was long before I met her. We're going back into the early 80s, but thank you for that. So moving forward, you said you started from scratch and formed a company leading up to 200 people. Just tell me that process, because I started a company 3 years ago, and you're looking at my company. It's just me. So
I did so, yes. Look, I truly believe that starting business, it's the biggest decision anybody can make if it's anybody serious to succeed in a business, it requires a lot of sacrifices. I did have some disadvantages. One of them is that English is not my first language. It is that I wanted to show all my skills and knowledge to the society I was part of, Australian society. And it was very difficult, Corey. I must say it was very difficult. And there was many times when I want to give up. But I learned that after GFC and losing job and the family, that this is the now breaking point where I need to push myself forward. So it took me 3 years before my first client, and I spent it, as you did as well. You spend countless days chasing the clients, trying to prove yourself. And with the first client, I had opportunity to demonstrate that my knowledge and skills, education, training, it's slightly different in many aspects of the investigative and intelligence world. And I was very, very welcomed after that. That being said, I was always aware that my client told me, you're good as your last case, which means I can work 5 years for you, but if my last case was not good, I knew that my days were outnumbered. In that process, of course, you hire the people who understand the business. So I was very blessed and privileged that I hired very good people last couple of years who helped me build the business even further and expand the business across. So I can't say I'm the smartest guy, but I was a guy with a vision, knowledge, experience. But on that part, I was fortunate enough to hire the people who are very keen to work with me, and they invested their knowledge, experience in building that business.
Yeah, and that leads me to my next question is, you've kind of already answered it, but I want to hear it like direct so our viewers can actually pick that. Why would somebody pick your investigative company over the countless other ones out there?
Thank you, Corey. You know that feeling that you get when you realize someone has taken advantage of you. Indeed. I solved that problem, so it never happens again in your business. Clients coming to me as a 3 pillars of my business for 3 F's. Fear of losing money, or losing reputation, or losing their competitive edge. Second F, it's fight. My company and I, we fight against fraud, against criminal activity, against theft. And thirdly, freedom. We give the freedom to our clients from risk and the freedom to do business without interruption. So fear of losing money, fight against the fraud, and freedom to do business without interruptions, we demonstrated to our clients, and that's the reason why they're coming to us.
Would you agree that sometimes they may not know exactly why they're coming? They know that there's a problem. They know that they may be experiencing a loss or some sort of challenge in their business, and they come to you to fix it. And your job first is to diagnose the problem and then present to them a solution and how you're going to help them do that. And then I guess ultimately leave them with some knowledge, skills, and ability when you're done that they can continue with that.
That is awesome question, Corey. And the person of your profile understand, and that's the reason why I asked you that good question. Clients understand they have the problem, but sometimes they don't know how to approach to that problem. And that's how we assist them to develop modus operandi of investigation, which basically is going to assist them not just to solve the problem. We take in consideration, we stipulate to every and each client that after we complete the investigation, and if they have something new, let's just say economic espionage or industrial espionage type of case, or intellectual property theft, once when we complete the investigation, they can utilize this report, which as well, every hour report can be presented on a court of law, and that gives the certainty to client that what we provided in terms of investigative methods, evidence and facts, they can utilize in court. But what they're using the report for, it's very simple. We demonstrated how something happened, we prove it or disapprove it, what it happened. If we prove it, how that happened, and modus operandi, they can utilize that report to implement their policy procedures for the future events. So that's how the clients can rely on us, and then when they come with a problem, we assist them to develop a strategy, a modus operandi investigation, which could assist.
That's incredible. You and I kind of share a similar a way of doing thing what I try to do is I train my clients to, avoid a catastrophic event, to handle a catastrophic event, and then to recover and return to normal. Heaven forbid they experience a catastrophic event. It could be anything from a traumatic medical emergency to an active shooter or some sort of crisis inside. So we definitely share that, and I'm glad to hear that someone of your caliber works in that same fashion. Is we don't want to be in a relationship with this client for the rest of our career. We want to set them up for success, get that word of mouth recommendation to the next client, right? Because that's the best recommendation.
That's right.
And they're actually recommending in my ear that we got to take a break right now. That was a really quick 15 minutes, Mario. So when we come back, I'm going to hear some success stories of some of the clients that you actually did work with, and that will definitely motivate some of the clients and businesses and viewers to actually look deeply into their own production and their own situation and maybe reach out to you. So we're going to be back in about 2 minutes, Mario. Thanks so far for being so open with me.
We're Dr. Mark and Liz from Marriage Matters, a show that inspires, instills hope, and empowers couples to weather the stresses of married life.
Join us each week to hear how couples, real couples like you, have overcome challenges that were hurting their marriages, as well as getting expert advice on ways to nurture a happy and healthy relationship.
Tune in Fridays at 4:30 p.m. and Thursdays at 9 a.m. on RVN TV.
The new Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwich with brioche buns, mayo, pickles, and a quarter-pound filet as far as the eye can see. Get comfy, it's gonna be a while. This thing's huge. Get the new Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwich for just $3.99. It's finger-licking good.
Have you heard? Join me, Heather Darling, weekly for a different spin on politics, business, law, and other key issues you will not want to miss right here on RVN TV.
Look at this crazy calzone from those brainiacs at Little Caesars.
Is it more pizza or more calzone?
Pizza. Calzone. Confused. Pizza. Pizza. Calzone.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. The new crazy calzone for $8.49.
Pizza, pizza.
You're still in here?
Oh, yeah.
You're really good.
Perfect timing. Your turn. Nintendo Switch. That's my way to play.
Pumpkin lovers, there's a whole new spin on pumpkin to love at Dunkin'. With our new Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew, topped with velvety pumpkin cream cold foam, or our Pumpkin Spice Signature Latte. Enjoy a medium for $3. That's how we pumpkin at Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'.
All right, welcome back to the Corey Jones Show. I'm having an awesome conversation with my guest, Mario Bekes. He's the managing director of Insight Intelligence Group, and just before we left, he was talking about the different types of investigations that he can do for companies that are experiencing losses. And one thing I asked him was, I wanted to hear about some success stories, some stories where, it may not be considered a success if your company is experiencing a loss, but it definitely is a success when you find it out, fix it, prevent it, and can move on and recover from it. So Mario, I'm going to go back to you and have you talk about that for me, please.
Thank you, Corey. I have recently one of the clients who is the world's most respected luxury goods retailer, and he had $120,000 worth of products stolen from them during the COVID, and we recovered through investigate process, which was basically surveillance. Client, asked us how we can assist them, and we recovered those goods within 72 hours. Basically, what happened, the store manager was ciphering all goods slowly from the store because he was in charge. But that was just a theory. That was just a thesis. So we need to prove this one. So we told the client that we're going to approach to that matter in different way, which was that we do research, background check on a person, social environment, and the interactions, and basically we apply the surveillance technology methodology on that particular person, and we discover.
So you're saying you kind of broke up a little bit there. You're applying a couple of different types of surveillance techniques. Would that be human intelligence, technological intelligence, and so forth?
That's correct, sir. That's correct. So, not surveillance. So we recovered $120,000 worth of goods, which basically has been stashed away into the storage. And only how we proved this was through surveillance. But surveillance is, Corey, you will appreciate it. You're a professional, and I'm glad I'm talking to you. You don't just send somebody to do surveillance because that's a waste of time and money when you do this. So we do the background check, social environment and social engagements of the person of interest, and then we do profiling to our forensic investigation, and then we apply the surveillance, and then we discover that person was stashing away all goods from the store to the back door into the storage. So it was a few people involved to this one. So we recovered within 72 hours of receiving that case. We recovered $120,000 worth of goods. The second example, it is that one of my clients, which we're doing a lot of fraudulent claims, insurance claims, and we received almost 1,000 cases in last year. So 70% of those cases has been positively solved for my client, which if you quantitative measures, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars be recovered. 30% goes off because it wasn't. We proved that claim was genuine. So this is the two cases I can share with your audience how we are helping our clients.
That's incredible. So 30% of thousands of insurance companies, and so those are going to be people that were abusing like insurance for COVID or medical insurance or theft insurance, loss insurance, or like what specific types of insurance investigations were you involved in?
Well, we have the from workers' compensation, and then you have the matter of the medical insurance as well, and then you have the life insurance, income protection insurance. Those.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of them.
We can talk about car insurance, but that's yes, a lot. And a COVID situation actually amplified that amount because people wanted to have some extra money, yes. And in terms of the stress and duress, as was a COVID, people they believe they know everything. Korea, that's the most thing it is. People believe they know how they're gonna apply fraudulent methods into their claim, and that's where we're stepping in, and we as I said, we fight against the fraud for our clients, and we give them freedom to do business without interruption, and we recover the money.
So on your website, Mario, you list there's four main things that you list on there. There's factual, forensic, surveillance, and then you also have a training academy. So can you quickly take me through the factual, forensic, and surveillance types of investigations, like what I as a client can expect from you when I meet you the first time and how that's going to look?
Yeah, the factual investigation is basically investigation which is run on a field investigator, which goes and they're conducting interviews between claimant and us. between us, employer, us, and the witnesses that we collect statements, evidence, and facts, because we need to collect only facts. There's no opinion based, and that's what the client loves about us.
Of course, because opinions aren't going to be able to hold up in court, so you got to have something documented on paper,
that's
right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. That's correct, and that's what they love about us, because I give the pride with my company. We give extra pride on customer service, which is communication. So we always keep client under the loop, what we do, how we do, and what the expectancies of the case are. Second one is surveillance. Surveillance security services, which is basically it's entire process of the qualifying person and learning who is the person, background, profiling, social environment, background checks, and all elements before you conduct investigation. And then we launch investigation to minimize costs for our client. So we're not dragging client through numerous of days or weeks or months, creating the tremendous cost for the client. Instead of this, we are very precise. So when we seek instructions from our client support us that way. Forensic investigation, giving the pride on that one. We recently done the research for the one American company, National Data Safety, and we can, I can share the link. 52 hard drives being supplied to us, being bought on the market, brand new, second hand, and we done investigation for that particular company. And so the hard drives they purchased and sent to us anonymously, they didn't tell us where they purchased. We found the data, which proves that data is never being deleted, erased from the hard drives, second-hand hard drives. And that's what our forensic goes. That's very, as you know, Corey, and you're very well aware, that the strongest link and the weakest link in any cyber, and that's what we're investigating. A part of the hardware and software, we investigate the people. So that's a forensics, very sophisticated type of investigation. Right. It is lengthy, but we're providing extremely well services. Academy is based on my knowledge, our approaches. I wrote several books on that topic. So we're teaching the clients how to moderate and organize investigation. Very important for every organization is to understand what is the investigation, what is the preliminary investigation, and what and how to do instructions. So we're teaching them, not just me, but we have the variety of the people who become the lecturers for our clients, and the clients enjoying wealth, abundant knowledge of all of us in my company, sharing with our clients. So that's those four key services we're offering to our clients.
So Mario, you mentioned you wrote several books. So I always do this with my clients. I always want to make it personal. I thirst for information. So somebody in my field of view, in security, safety, and survival, which one of those books would you recommend that I read, and where can our clients and our viewers actually get those books? Well,
it's the easiest way. It's either go to my website, insightintelligence.com.au or mariobekes.com.au. The one book I'll recommend highly, and I'm happy to send you a couple copies for your perusal and some of your viewers, Corey. It's Workplace Investigations, Methodology and Applications, which I wrote together with Professor Clive Smallman. And second book I like to share with all of you, it's my latest book, which is not a book about investigation. It's called The Bloodstock Soil. My book of my personal experience through the war by not in and hard life it is, that we always can move forward and achieve our goals. So yeah, insightintelligence.com.au or mariobekes.com.au.
Mario, I definitely want to thank you for those recommendations and all that information. So finally, people want to get a hold of you, and I know you gave the website. Can you give that website again, maybe an email address or a phone number that our viewers can get a hold of you on if they think that they have an internal or an external theft problem or an espionage problem, so they can get your services or at least get a consultation to determine if it's something that applies to their situation?
Thank you, Corey. Please contact me on www.insight,
.au, and AU is Australia?
That's correct,
Yeah.
yes. That's correct, yes.
So I want to thank you because you're zooming in, and what time is it there in Australia?
2 a.m. in the morning.
2 a.m. in the morning. So, Mary, this shows how much of a hard charger you are and how dedicated you are to your profession and your craft, that you're up at 2 a.m. to talk to me here. It's a nice 10:30 a.m. I've already had breakfast and a cup of coffee. I would imagine you're going to go to sleep after this. So,
Yes.
just thank you for that. And to our viewers, we experienced a little bit of Zoom technological problems in there, but I did make sure that we got all the information from Mario to you so you can protect your company. And if you are experiencing some sort of loss or anything like that, you can definitely get a hold of him and get that taken care of. So Mario, just finally finishing up, I just wanted to talk about how people can protect themselves so they can get in front of this where they won't even need you.
Well, I'd like to talk to you, Corey, because you're the security expert. My job is information, and all I can say, just if it's anything too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Never take it a guess. Always think about before you commit yourself to any conversation, to any action, and most importantly, information. It's the most lucrative asset in a business. So talk less and more listen.
Indeed. So do that pre-investigation, hire correctly, do your background investigation on your employees, install the recommended security protocols, and keep up on them, and then train everybody with that common motto here in the United States. I'm sure it's around the world. If you see something, say something, and give your employees, your associates, your team members the ability to, whether it be in person or anonymously, report something that they think is loss, theft, or damaging the company up the chain of command. Would you agree?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely.
Well, Mario Bekes, the Managing Director of Insight Intel Group from Australia, thank you again for staying up so late to talk to me and my viewers. And hopefully we can protect people from theft, protect people from an emergency, keep people safe, and keep people profitable. Thank you for watching The Corey Jones Show. We'll be back next week with another great guest and some more good information, again, geared towards keeping you safe in these turbulent times in the world. Thank you, and come back.